good, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon. I'm back at you another one, and this one is the Spider-Man official No Way Home trailer has just dropped. I have watched it, and I will tell you that the movie does look phenomenal. But the main thing I see from this trailer is that this plot leak that dropped seems to be real. Now, I'm going to tell you what this plot leak is. You know, a lot of times you get a lot of plot leaks and they're bullshit. You know, they just don't work. Nothing is really real. I've gone through a Game of Thrones many a times, but this one, truly, especially from after watching the trailer, seems that it is legitimate. So let me just say right off the bat, spoilers, just in case some of this stuff or all this stuff is true. If you do not want to know anything about the movie by accident, I would say do not watch the rest of this video. But if you can, please subscribe and click that bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. Listen, I can't put pictures in this video because if I do from the title, Marvel will shut it right down. This is the only way they can't shut it down is the way if I do it like this. That's the only reason why I'm doing like this. All right. So make sure you subscribe and click that bell for your boy. You know what I mean? Let me get right into this with you now. When I first heard the plot leaks, I thought that it could be right. But this, without a shadow of a doubt, does seem like the way it goes. All right, so this is how it starts. The man who did this, his name is 4chan, and he says this: I'm not going to tell you guys who I am or what kind of job I do for Marvel Studios, but I'm bringing this out because I'm frustrated. While I have not seen the movie, I have read the script, and it goes like this. Also, the trailer won't show Toby and Andrew, and it's full of fake scenes designed to throw you off. Now, I looked at what I think could be some fake scenes, and I do believe that there could be some in there. And I'll get into it after I go through this with you. Now, this is your final warning. The actual No Way Home plot leak begins below. This is what it is. Act 1, plot leak. The main villain and the first Spider-Man variant. All right. From the start of the film, we see William Dafoe's Green Goblin wearing the 2002 Spider-Man's armor, but without the helmet. The action then pivots to Spider-Man, whose identity was just exposed. No Way Home would pick up right after Far From Home, with Spider-Man having to deal with the fact that people know who Spider-Man is in this timeline. Now we see this in the trailer. Right off the bat, you see him laying down with MJ on top of a rooftop saying, I wish we could just stay up here because it's crazy down there. And then they go into all other things because of him being exposed. J. Jonah Jameson exposing his face, showing his face with the Spider-Man mask, him going to school, people flashed and taking pictures, everyone knowing. All right, it says like this. It's Aunt May who will hook Spider-Man up with a lawyer who turns out to be Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock. We'll see Daredevil telling Spider-Man that he knows he's innocent and he knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. But the prosecution will use doctored footage to prove that Spider-Man did kill Mysterio in the previous films. And we see him talking about the Mysterio case while he's handcuffed in this trailer. And then there's somebody in the suit that smashes files down. Is that Matt Murdock? I don't know. I only watched the trailer twice. I would have to go back and see. So it says, speaking of doctors, Peter ends up in prison after his initial legal battle. And that's when a portal opens up with the paper reading 1778 Bleecker Street, hurry. Now, we know from the leaked set photos that Spider-Man will meet Doctor Strange at the Sanctum. This No Way Home plot leak precedes the set photos revealed by a few weeks too. Now, we did see this could be a doctored image. We did see him contact Doctor Strange because he's seen like a little picture and paper of Doctor Strange, and that made him want to contact him. This is saying that, you know, the paper reads the address telling him to go to Doctor Strange. We didn't see that. So that could be what he's saying. A little bit of this thing could be doctored. That may be the real way he does meet Doctor Strange. Peter takes MJ and Ned to the Sanctum. And that's where the official No Way Home still that Sony releases so far report comes from. You can see all the official Spider-Man three images in this post. Now we see him there. We don't see MJ and we don't see Ned up in there, but we know from what we've seen earlier that it seems like they are in there. And at the time we see Spider-Man in there, it looks very snowy, like it's snowing inside. And then Peter goes there asking him, hey, can you take people away so that they don't know about me being Spider-Man? And then Strange agrees so. Even though his boy tells him not to do it, he does agree to do it. And that's where it seems the crazy stuff happened. All right, so the plot leak goes to strange things are afoot in No Way Home. Strange tells them that the flow of time is disturbed and that realities are bleeding into each other. The wizard has an orb that supposedly allows him to manage realities. Apparently, two timelines are merging into a single one. Strange uses his pure magic as the Infinity Stones are gone, and he can't leave the Sanctum. But villains from other realities are almost like the primary MCU timeline have arrived, and they're all connected to Spider-Man. Strange reveals that the villains were taken from the Raimi and TASM timelines. The villains were removed from those universes right before their death. They're all working for someone, although Strange doesn't mention the Green Goblin at this point. We do see a bomb that looks like the Green Goblin's at the end, and then we do see spoilers for everything, so you should already see the trailer, because in the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler, we do see Dr. Otto Octavia from the old movies there, all right? That's when Strange gives Peter a special suit. He combines the Iron Spider with magic, and that apparently what the integrated suit is all about. Spider-Man will have to capture the invading villains. That's why he needs special powers. We see him in the Iron Spider suit in this trailer. We don't see any bit of magic in there, but we do see the Iron Spider suit. And we could all guess that was going to be in there, right? So Spider-Man captures 5 of the Sinister Six, but they injure him, and only 3 of them end up in the Sanctum. That's where Peter learns about Sandman's history from TASM. He tells the villain that in this reality, his daughter got to live while Sandman's died during the bank heist. All right, ultimately, the villains escape, with Spider-Man rushing after him. That's when we learn that Norman Osborn is leading the Sinister Six. He arrives in the MCU reality in the past. He then disposes of this reality's real Norman Osborn and kept Oscorp under the radar to avoid the same fate from the Raimi. All right, verse. All right, just as Norman prepares to kill Tom, we get Andrew wearing a Spider-Man suit from TASM2, saving Tom. Now, we see nothing of that, and he says that we're not going to see that in this trailer. We see nothing of that, but it still seems like that could happen. But the reality is that, a lot of people thought that this was going to, because of maybe Loki, that this thing would happen from everything that happened in there. But it seems like it's Doctor Strange and Spider-Man who are the ones who caused this whole situation to go down, because he doesn't want people to know that he's Spider-Man. Act 2 plot leak. The evil plan for the second Spider-Man variant. The Sinister Six never used the group's name in the film, but they do have a base of operations, and they do have a sinister plan. All of them, except for Sandman, plan on killing the MCU Spider-Man and conquering this world. According to the plot leak, they want to attack the Sanctum, kill Strange, Tom, and Andrew, steal the orb, and then bring over more versions of themselves into the MCU. Act 2 will show us Tom and Andrew interacting. They will talk about the similarities and differences between their worlds. Strange will explain that he used a forgotten spell to pull a particular person from a different timeline, Andrew. The spells allows him to pick his targets, whereas the current multiverse problem moves people over randomly. Strange can give Andrew more of his magic, so the two Spider-Mans build new suits for themselves. Tom gets the black and gold suit, while Andrew receives a high-tech black and gold classic Iron Spider-Man suit. It's just Tom who will continue to use magic, however. The third Spider-Man appears. In the No Way Home Act 2, we will get to meet Toby. We find him in his timeline where he continues to save people as Spider-Man. This is where Kristen Dunst's MJ cameo appear, and we learn that the two of them have a daughter named May Parker. Toby wants to retire as Spider-Man, and the other heroes have started appearing in the universe. It's unclear who they are, however. We see a picture here of Dr. Ock, and we do see him in the trailer. Act 3, plot leak, final battle, tragic death, and resurrection. Norman Osborn and the Sinister Six attack the Sanctum, and Tom, Andrew, and Strange playing defense. The fight is a pretty big one, with the two Spider-Mans capturing 4 of the 6 villains: Lizard, Scorpion, Vulture, and Doc Ock. Norman stabs Tom through the shoulder, and that's when Sandman saves this Spider-Man version. Osborn kills Sandman. As we learn, as his contingency plan is to place neutralize the villains who would not remain loyal to him. Norman also has a new glider from the MCU Norman variant, which he uses to defeat Tom and Andrew. The heartbreaking death in No Way Home. Other No Way Home plot leaks warned us the film would feature a heartbreaking death. According to the leak, it'll be MJ. With the two Spider-Men down for the count, MJ strikes Norman in the head with a steel pipe, but it didn't hurt him. Norman slowly turns his attention to MJ. Tom screams at MJ to run, but Norman grabs her by the neck and tosses her across the room, slamming her into a wall rather brutally. Tom screams, but is knocked down by Norman with one punch. MJ will have a similar death to Gwen Stacy, Emma Stone, and TASM2. Now, this seems like the way it goes. Spider-Man in the comic books always loses. He loses Gwen Stacy. In the comic books, she's thrown from the bridge, and then he hits her with the web. And by hitting her with the web and trying to pull her back up, he winds up snapping her neck, and that's how she dies. It seems like a similar situation, not exactly what's going down, but that's what we see. It says here, Tom cradles MJ, who starts bleeding from the nose. Kind of like I would say a little Daenerys situation from Game of Thrones, mirroring the moment Andrew lost Gwen in TASM2. Andrew takes off his mask in shock. MJ dies. Ned and May counsel Tom, but Strange tells him that they've escaped with the orb. But he has brought one last backup, even though it isn't much. Now, we have not seen this orb or anything like that, but we have seen Strange use some magic, and it seems like it's his fault that everything else is going down with this. This is the final fight. The Sinister Six might have stolen the orb from Strange, but not before the wizard cast a spell on it, making it glow red briefly. That's where Strange drops a portal in Raimi's universe to grab Toby for the final fight. We're looking at 3 Spider-Man versions against the Sinister Six. Toby and Andrew are trying to hold back the Sinister Six while Tom goes after the orb. The device is overcharged with energy, and Norman has been using it without access to magic. Norman is trying to pull villains from the other realities. If the orb is destroyed, then Strange will have no way of fixing the multiverse. Portals start appearing from the sky, buildings and cars and even people start falling from them. Tom successfully sends all the villains and the 2 other Spider-Mans back to their respective timelines. Norman is put back in the last second before he is impaled by his glider. Luckily, the orb didn't break, but it's heavily cracked. That's when Peter has a bright idea to use the orb to bring MJ back to life and get his secret identity back. Strange warns against that, but Peter does it anyway. The orb breaks, and Tom looks around as something happened, similar to when Thanos snaps his finger. Strange asks what has he done, and the screen fades to white. It said the Spider-Man future after No Way Home. Peter's orb magic worked. People no longer know who he is, and MJ is alive. But MJ has no recollection of who Peter is. Of their love story, here is how No Way Homes end according to the plot leak. Now we see some of this that he in the trailer that he does not want MJ not to know who he is. He does not want Ned not to know. And this is what messes up the spell and starts everything off. So this does make sense that it would go down like this. This is what the plot leak says how it ends. We cut to Tom Waking up in his bed, he greets Aunt May good morning and heads for school. At school, he meets Ned. They see MJ walk past the hallway, but she doesn't recognize them. She also seems to be more popular than she was before. Tom recognizes her and becomes sad seeing her, but Ned doesn't. He just says that she's out of their league. We see a somber montage of a depressed Tom going about his day in high school, but there's also class about alternate dimensions. So it's a reality. People know all about it right here. Tom walks out of a classroom after class. They bump into a blonde girl. They say sorry to each other, make eye contact, but we don't see the girl's face. Cut to black while we hear Tom ask, "What is the girl's name?" And that is how the movie ends. All right, it's saying something about a post-credit scene. So Spider-Man 3's post-credit scene. All right. Strain gathers the remains of the broken orb and attempts to fix it, but unsuccessful. He then senses something, hearing a faint sounds of children. Camera pans to his shoulder, revealing Wanda standing behind him with glowing red eyes. So it seems that we won't get the Wanda that we want in this show. You know, I know a lot of people want to see Wanda doing a big scene, being a part of it. I thought that she probably would have had more to do with it, but it seems like she doesn't have more to do. It seems like this is all just because of him wanting to hide his identity. That's what we see from the trailer. This seems to match up. But you tell me in the comment section, do you think it matches up, or you think that this guy just guessed everything? Look, it's possible. He could have guessed everything, but it seems pretty accurate to me. If he did guess it, it's a goddamn good guess right now. He did a goddamn good job on that 100%. But I think that this plot leak might really be what it is. And he said that a lot of things in the trailer were meant to throw us off. We could see how some of those things could be like that. So I guess it's up to you. You let me know in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think that this trailer proves the plot leak right? Or do you think the plot leak is just garbage? Let me know in the comment section. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this video. Please, I appreciate it if you truly would. Subscribe and click that bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.